okay. You're doing a good job. What's up now?
All right. Well, let's start with this. Okay. This is Andy Collin. I'm here with Growing Up Aspen, and I'm talking to Coach D, the guy who shaped so many of us kids. He was our PE coach, football coach, and just all-around coach. So one thing that's interesting is everybody's been sort of telling their story of how they got to Aspen. And what's your story?
I guess I got there because there was a job available at the University of Colorado at grad school, and they came up and interviewed me, and I took the job.
Wow, that was pretty simple.
Yeah, well, life's that way if you let it be.
Well, before we go in too far into some stuff, are there some of the local characters that I know you worked with Willard Clapper, and I feel like there's a few names of folks that were really important to sort of recognize as the local Klansmen. You know what I mean? Like they sort of had big families, and they were sort of known in the community really well. You
use that word Clapper, and you're talking about a bunch of them.
Yes, exactly.
Mr. Clapper never knew how to stop.
Well, can you talk about the Clappers?
A great group of kids and adults. Dad was a hardworking guy. Mom was a homeowner. They raised, I guess, one daughter and three sons, all of which stayed in Aspen area, I think, except Willard might have left because he was a teacher. But I think Tommy and the other young man, Timmy, stayed around.
What about, the Melvilles were big too. Did you have any Melvilles in your...
I believe I had Frank Melville in gym class, but that was it. The Melville family was not athletes.
Aha. How about the other athletes, like the Andy Mill?
Mark Taché.
Yeah, Mark Taché.
Yeah, he was, of course, a great skier, but he also was an excellent football and baseball player. Andy Mill, he was a great Olympic skier. He was a quarterback for me, and he was also a baseball player.
Oh, well, Mark Taché was saying that of all the coaching he's had in his life, that it's the local coaches like you that actually made the biggest impact on him.
Well, that's probably true of anybody that's been involved in sports, because the first ones usually make the most impression, and hopefully most times it's a good impression.
Yeah. Well, it was very interesting. You had a certain personality and the way you were that I think it's sort of, you actually were a coach in a way. And I think a lot of kids that needed sort of the parental sort of person that was sort of calling the shots. You kind of were that person, and you sort of stood out for a lot of people. I know for me, you kind of gave me a little bit of inspiration when I was so small and I was trying to figure out how I could survive with all the big kids, and you introduced me to weightlifting, which basically changed my life.
Well, it changed a lot of people's life. That was one of the best things that we ever did, was institute a weight training program.
Yeah. I know it was in that little tiny area too. I mean, now I'm sure it's a bigger place. That was
used to be the wrestling room, and we started to run out of wrestlers. So I said, I'll take over that room, and that's how we made our weight room.
That's awesome.
It was also the storage room for my bicycle and my motorcycle in the wintertime.